Act as if nothing bothers you. This is very powerful. Epictetus, Stoicism. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where ancient wisdom meets modern challenges. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the storms of life, tossed about by the winds of adversity? In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to let every setback and criticism shake our foundation. But what if I told you there's a way to remain steadfast and serene, regardless of the chaos around you? Join me on a journey inspired by the Stoic philosophy of Epictetus, as we explore the powerful principle of acting as if nothing bothers you. From navigating relationships to facing uncertainties with resilience, we'll uncover timeless truths that can transform the way you approach life's challenges. So, grab a seat and open your mind to the wisdom of the ancients as we embark on this journey together. Let's dive in. One, true wealth lies in a contented spirit. Epictetus, a stalwart of Stoic philosophy, encapsulates this idea beautifully when he says, "A wise man is one who does not fret over the things he does not have but rejoices in those he does have." This isn't just a clever saying. It's a profound insight into the nature of happiness. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves chasing after the next big thing, convinced that it will finally bring us the happiness we crave? But the truth is, happiness isn't found in external acquisitions. It's cultivated within. It's about learning to appreciate what we have rather than lamenting what we lack. So let's unpack this notion further. What does it mean to find contentment in our lives? How can we shift our focus from chasing material wealth to nurturing inner fulfillment? Let's explore these questions together, drawing inspiration from the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. In our modern society, we're bombarded with messages telling us that success and happiness are synonymous with wealth and possessions. But Stoicism challenges this notion, offering a different perspective. It teaches us that true riches lie not in the abundance of our possessions, but in the richness of our inner lives. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca aptly put it, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This wisdom reminds us that our happiness isn't contingent upon external circumstances. It's a state of mind that we can cultivate regardless of our material wealth. So, instead of constantly striving for more, perhaps we can find fulfillment in appreciating the simple pleasures of life, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the laughter of loved ones, the beauty of nature. By shifting our focus from external gains to internal contentment, we can tap into a deeper, more enduring source of happiness. Furthermore, embracing the philosophy of Stoicism can also help us navigate the inevitable challenges and setbacks we encounter in life. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This sage advice reminds us that we have the power to choose our response to any situation, regardless of the external circumstances. By cultivating a mindset of resilience and equanimity, we can weather life's storms with grace and fortitude. So, instead of allowing ourselves to be consumed by worry and anxiety, we can approach life's challenges with a sense of calm and perspective. In doing so, we not only alleviate our own suffering, but also inspire those around us to do the same. In conclusion, the wisdom of Stoicism offers us a timeless blueprint for finding true wealth and happiness in our lives. By shifting our focus from external acquisitions to inner contentment, we can cultivate a sense of fulfillment that transcends material wealth. Moreover, by embracing the principles of resilience and equanimity, we can navigate life's ups and downs with grace and fortitude. So, let's heed the teachings of the Stoic philosophers and strive to cultivate a contented spirit, one that is rich in gratitude, resilience, and inner peace. 2. Incorporate humility into your life. As Epictetus wisely said, if you really want to learn something, it is essential that a person learns what they believe they already know. This profound statement urges us to set aside our preconceptions and approach learning with humility. Think about it. How often do we let our pride and ego get in the way of acquiring new knowledge? When we think we already know everything, we close ourselves off to the possibility of growth and discovery. But true wisdom lies in recognizing our own ignorance and embracing the opportunity to learn from others. So, let me share a story with you that illustrates the power of humility in modern life. Consider the story of Mark, a successful entrepreneur who built a thriving business from the ground up. Despite his achievements, Mark remained humble and open-minded, always eager to learn from those around him. One day, he attended a conference where he met a young aspiring entrepreneur who shared an innovative idea for disrupting the market. Instead of dismissing the idea as naive, Mark listened intently, recognizing the potential for growth and innovation. He humbly acknowledged that there was still much he could learn, even after years of experience in the industry. Inspired by his humility, the young entrepreneur became Mark's mentee, and together, they revolutionized the industry with their collaborative approach. Now let's reflect on this story together. How can we cultivate humility in our own lives, especially in the pursuit of knowledge and personal growth? What steps can we take to set aside our ego and approach learning with an open mind? By embracing humility, we not only expand our own understanding but also create opportunities for collaboration and innovation. So, let's heed Epictetus' wisdom and incorporate humility into our lives, approaching each new experience with the curiosity and wonder of a child. In doing so, we unlock the true power of learning and pave the way for a brighter, more fulfilling future. 3. Never forget that your reactions forge your destiny. Imagine two individuals facing the same adversity, a painful divorce. For one person, this experience triggers a downward spiral into depression and self-pity. They blame others for their misfortune and resign themselves to a life of bitterness and regret. But for the other person, the divorce becomes a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. Instead of wallowing in despair, they choose to embrace the opportunity for personal transformation. They seek therapy, lean on their support network, and embark on a journey of self-reflection and healing. Despite the pain and uncertainty, they emerge from the experience stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Now, let me ask you, which of these individuals do you aspire to be? Do you want to be the victim of your circumstances? Or do you want to be the architect of your own destiny? The truth is, life is full of challenges and obstacles that are beyond our control. But what sets us apart is how we choose to respond to them. As Epictetus reminds us, your life is not what happens to you, but what you do with it. So, let's take ownership of our reactions and empower ourselves to forge a future that aligns with our values and aspirations. By cultivating resilience, optimism, and proactive problem-solving skills, we can navigate life's ups and downs with grace and fortitude. Remember, the power to shape your destiny lies within you. 4. Listen twice as much as you speak. In the hustle of everyday life, amidst the noise that permeates our waking hours, there lies a profound wisdom often overlooked, yet so simple. Listen twice as much as you speak. The ancient philosopher Epicurus keenly observed that nature, in its intricate design, equipped us with 2 ears but only 1 mouth. This is no mere anatomical coincidence, but a deliberate cue towards a more fulfilling path. By embracing this natural arrangement, we're encouraged not to become enamored with the sound of our own voices, but rather to cherish and engage with the perspectives of others. This principle is crucial, especially in today's world, where everyone seems eager to broadcast their opinions. The quiet act of listening is becoming a lost art. Imagine the depth of understanding and the quality of relationships that could be cultivated if we adhered to this Stoic practice. Epictetus, another luminary from the Stoic school of thought, once remarked, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In these words lies a reminder that the path to wisdom and personal growth is through observing and listening to the world around us. Consider the impact of truly listening in your own life. In professional settings, it fosters an environment where ideas flourish and mutual respect grows. In personal relationships, it builds stronger bonds and deeper connections. This advice is not just philosophical but practical. When we listen more, we absorb diverse perspectives, we understand deeper, and we respond more thoughtfully. Our interactions become richer, and we navigate life's complexities with greater ease and insight. To integrate this philosophy into modern life, start by making a conscious effort each day to listen more than you speak. In conversations, whether with a colleague, friend, or family member, challenge yourself to truly understand their point of view before responding. This shift in approach doesn't merely alter dialogues, it transforms them, enriching your interactions and expanding your worldview. In essence, the call to listen is about cultivating humility and openness. It's about acknowledging that no matter how much we know, there is always more to learn from others. As the famous saying goes, wisdom is the reward you get for a lifetime of listening when you'd have preferred to talk. Let this be your guiding principle, to seek understanding, to cherish the voices of others, and to approach every conversation as an opportunity to learn and grow. In doing so, you align yourself not just with the Stoics of old, but with a timeless truth that enhances personal and professional life alike. Thank you for being part of today's video. Before we proceed, I want to express my appreciation for your participation in our community. Please share your thoughts in the comments, or if you prefer, simply say, "I am a newbie" if you're new here, or "I am Stoic" if you've been with us longer. Your interaction is not only valuable to us, it's a great source of inspiration. Let's continue this journey together, shall we? 5. Always expect the worst. Think about it. How often have you found yourself ensnared by anxieties about the future? Worried that your children might stray off their educational paths, fearful of unexpected job loss, or troubled by potential personal betrayals? These fears are not just fleeting thoughts. They can spiral into a relentless cycle, robbing us of peace and plunging us into constant stress. The crux of Epictetus's guidance lies in the proactive confrontation of these fears. By mentally confronting the worst-case scenarios, imagining that they have already occurred, we paradoxically empower ourselves to face life's challenges with a heightened sense of calm and preparedness. What could be more liberating than knowing you've faced the depths of your fears mentally and emerged unscathed? Consider Sarah, a project manager in a fast-paced tech company, who lived in perpetual fear of missing deadlines and losing her job, a scenario she believed would lead to financial ruin. One day, she decided to embrace Epictetus's philosophy, confronting these fears by vividly imagining that she'd indeed missed her deadlines and had been let go. This mental exercise led her to realize that even in the worst case, she possessed the skills and resilience to find another job or even switch career paths if necessary. Gradually, her anxiety diminished, her confidence grew, and she began to handle her projects with greater assurance and less fear of failure. Now ask yourself, what are the fears that haunt you? How might your life change if you faced these fears head-on and acknowledged that you could indeed handle the outcome, whatever it might be? By adopting this mindset, you can transform your approach to life's unpredictabilities. Epictetus's advice offers us not just a strategy for coping, but a radical way to enhance our emotional and psychological resilience. The lesson here is profound yet straightforward. Equip yourself mentally for the worst and you'll live with a sense of security and bravery, regardless of what life throws your way. So, next time you find yourself fretting over what could go wrong, remember that by expecting the worst, you're actually paving the way for peace of mind and emotional stability. This, in essence, is the liberating power of expecting the worst while striving for the best. 6. Prepare to fail because it is the only way to progress. Consider the scenario of striving to accomplish something seemingly impossible, not to avoid the label of a fool, but to actually invite it. The wisdom here is subtle, yet significant. It's about the freedom that comes from facing and embracing our failures, not as ends, but as stepping stones. This viewpoint challenges the conventional fear of failure that holds many back from even attempting their goals. Epicurus's perspective underscores that being deemed a fool is not an insult, but an opportunity, an essential part of the journey towards excellence. The Stoic philosophers, like Epictetus, further this idea by reminding us that true overcoming, the kind that leads to lasting change and improvement, isn't the result of a spontaneous leap forward, but rather emerges from a consistent and often challenging process of trial and error. As Epictetus eloquently puts it, it is difficulties that show what men are. Each mistake, each stumble in our lives serves to refine us, polishing away the rough edges to reveal a clearer path to our best selves. Now pause for a moment and reflect. When was the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone and faced the possibility of failure head-on? How did it make you feel? Was it a moment of growth? Or did fear hold you back? Engaging directly with these questions allows you to explore your own relationship with failure and growth, urging a deeper connection with the content and its implications. Incorporating these philosophies into everyday life doesn't just mean seeking out ways to fail. Rather, it involves a paradigm shift in how we perceive and react to failures. It's about cultivating resilience and finding value in the lessons that only setbacks can teach. The notion that only through error can we polish what distances us from excellence is a powerful reminder that our missteps are not merely obstacles, but invaluable experiences that carve our path to mastery and personal achievement. As you listen, consider how this philosophy can transform your approach to challenges and ambitions. Imagine moving forward with a mindset that does not fear ridicule, but welcomes it as a sign of courage and commitment to growth. What could you achieve if you were no longer held back by the fear of failure? This message, deeply rooted in Stoic wisdom, is not just about professional life but touches every aspect of personal growth. It assures us that on the other side of our failures, we find a version of ourselves more capable, confident, and closer to excellence. So, let us embrace the possibility of failure, not with resignation, but with the anticipation of the growth that is sure to follow. This indeed is the way forward. 7. Be aware of the dangers of fortune. As we set our sights on financial success, it's crucial to heed the wisdom of ancient thinkers who remind us of the inherent risks that fortune brings. Be aware of the dangers of fortune, a principle that seems almost counterintuitive in our success-driven society. The desire for wealth isn't just about financial security or material pleasures. It's deeply intertwined with our sense of success and self-worth. However, as we accumulate wealth, we often find ourselves facing challenges that we hadn't anticipated. It's not merely the superficial changes, like fair-weather friends who emerge with ulterior motives, masking their envy or greed with feigned affection. The real danger lies deeper, in how wealth can transform us from within. Wealth has the subtle power to change people, and not always for the better. It introduces a new dynamic to our lives, bringing with it not just assets, but a potential shift in values. As we ascend the economic ladder, gaining resources we once lacked, there's a pivotal moment. A moment where the spirit risks poisoning itself as moral values are weighed against gold. It's a theme as relevant today as it was in ancient times, echoed in the warnings of philosophers like Epictetus, who taught that external acquisitions should never jeopardize our internal integrity. Consider this. How often have we witnessed or heard of someone who, upon gaining substantial wealth, begins to drift from their foundational principles? They might start prioritizing profit over people or risk over relationships. This shift can be subtle, sometimes imperceptible, but its effects are profound. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants, noted Epictetus. By redefining wealth not as an accumulation of goods but as a liberation from desire, we shield our spirit from the corrupting influence of excess. As you reflect on your own aspirations and financial goals, ask yourself, are you prepared to manage the wealth you seek in a way that preserves your core values? How will you ensure that your character remains intact, unswayed by the allure of material gain? In modern life, where success is often measured by financial benchmarks, it's essential to remember that true wealth lies in integrity, kindness, and the ability to remain true to oneself despite external fortunes. This perspective isn't just philosophical, it's practical. In our daily lives, whether in personal finance, business dealings, or social interactions, maintaining a clear boundary between our moral values and our financial pursuits ensures that our spirit remains uncorrupted regardless of our bank balance. As we navigate the complexities of wealth, let us carry the wisdom of the Stoics with us, using it as a compass to steer through the temptations and challenges that fortune inevitably brings. Thus, while we strive for financial success, let us also commit to an even greater goal, a life rich in virtue and poor in vices, for this is the true wealth that no fortune can compromise. 8. Do not cling to a single hope. Epictetus, an ancient philosopher whose teachings still resonate today, once advised, "Do not cling to a single hope." This principle serves as a timeless reminder, especially in our modern era, where the pressure to succeed often pushes us towards putting all our hopes into one basket, one dream. But what happens when that dream doesn't materialize? The impact can be devastating. Instead, Epictetus champions the pursuit of multiple dreams, a strategy that not only mitigates the risk of disappointment but also broadens our horizons and increases our chances of overall success. Think about it. How often have you found yourself fixated on a single goal or a specific outcome, only to feel a sense of despair when things didn't go as planned? This common scenario is precisely what Epictetus urges us to avoid. By diversifying our aspirations, we open up numerous pathways to success and happiness, rather than confining ourselves to a singular route that may or may not lead to fulfillment. To put this into a contemporary context, consider the story of Anna, a passionate, aspiring novelist who dreamt of writing a bestseller. Initially, she poured all her energy into this one ambition, neglecting other interests and opportunities. After facing repeated rejections from publishers, Anna felt her dreams crumbling. However, remembering Epictetus's wisdom, she began to explore other avenues for her creativity. She took up blogging, started a podcast about literature, and joined a local theater group as a scriptwriter. These pursuits not only enriched her life, but also reinvigorated her love for writing in diverse forms, ultimately leading to a more balanced and fulfilling career. Now, ask yourself, what are the various interests and dreams that excite you? Are you giving yourself the freedom to explore all of them, or are you tethered to one hope that overshadows the rest? By embracing a variety of aspirations, you not only shield yourself against the despair of unmet expectations, but also enhance your resilience by cultivating multiple areas of fulfillment and expertise. This approach is not about diluting your efforts, but about enriching your life's portfolio. Just as a wise investor diversifies their investments to maximize returns and minimize risks, so too should we diversify our life's endeavors. Epictetus's advice encourages us to spread our dreams across the vast field of possibilities, nurturing each one with attention and care. In conclusion, the lesson here is clear. Diversify your dreams to fortify your life. By pursuing multiple paths, you not only increase your chances of finding success, but also ensure that your journey is rich with learning and growth. As you move forward, remember that every dream you nurture adds a unique strand to the intricate tapestry of your life. What new dream will you pursue today to enrich your personal tapestry? This, after all, is the key to a resilient and vibrant life. 9. Always remember that death is waiting at the end of the road. Principle number 6 urges us to always keep in mind the inevitability of death. Now, this may sound morbid at first, but bear with me. It's not about dwelling on doom and gloom. It's about recognizing that our time on this earth is finite. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. So by acknowledging the reality of our mortality, we can gain a new perspective on how we live our lives. Think about it. If you knew you only had a limited amount of time left, how would you spend it? Would you still stress over trivial matters or waste precious moments on things that don't truly matter? Probably not. Instead, you'd likely prioritize what's truly important to you, cherishing each moment and making the most out of life. It's like having a wake-up call to seize the day and live with intention. So let's delve deeper into this idea. How can embracing the awareness of our own mortality actually empower us to live more fully? How can we integrate this profound realization into our daily lives to cultivate greater meaning and purpose? Let's explore together. 10. Make alliances with winning people. In our modern lives, we're constantly surrounded by a diverse array of individuals, some of whom lift us up, while others bring us down. As Epictetus aptly noted, our choice of companions can significantly influence our mood and outlook on life. Think about it. How do you feel after spending time with certain people? Do you feel energized and motivated, or do you find yourself feeling drained and disheartened? By consciously aligning ourselves with those who radiate positivity and encouragement, we can create a supportive network that empowers us to thrive. But the journey doesn't end there. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the trap of surrounding ourselves with people who may not have our best interests at heart. Whether it's toxic friendships, negative coworkers, or energy vampires, these individuals can sap our vitality and hinder our. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, let me ask you, who are the 5 people in your life that you spend the most time with? Are they lifting you up and inspiring you to reach new heights? Or are they holding you back and dragging you down? The truth is, we have the power to choose our companions and curate our social circle in a way that aligns with our values and aspirations. By surrounding ourselves with winning people, those who exude positivity, ambition, and integrity, we create an environment that fosters growth, resilience, and fulfillment. So let's take a moment to reflect on the relationships in our lives and consider whether they're helping us become the best version of ourselves. And remember, as Epictetus reminds us, associate with people who are likely to improve you. By making alliances with winning people, we can elevate our lives and unlock our full potential. 11. Guilt is synonymous with plague. In modern therapy, there's a growing recognition that guilt is not only unproductive, but also harmful to our well-being. Instead of wallowing in guilt, therapists now encourage clients to adopt a more constructive approach to addressing their mistakes. By reframing guilt as a feeling to be eradicated rather than indulged, individuals can reclaim their agency and empower themselves to make positive changes in their lives. But breaking free from the grip of guilt isn't easy. It requires a firm determination to confront our shortcomings head-on and take responsibility for our actions without succumbing to self-blame or blame-shifting. So let me ask you, how do you view guilt in your own life? Do you tend to blame others, blame yourself? Or do you strive to rise above it and take ownership of your actions? The truth is, guilt can be a seductive trap, offering a temporary escape from accountability. But in the long run, it only serves to perpetuate a cycle of negativity and self-doubt. By refusing to play into guilt's game, we can break free from its grip and embrace a more proactive approach to personal growth and self-improvement. This isn't about absolving ourselves of responsibility. It's about acknowledging our mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward with wisdom and grace. As Epictetus reminds us, the only way to win the competition against guilt is to refuse to play with it. So, let's make a conscious effort to let go of guilt and cultivate a mindset of resilience and self-compassion. By doing so, we can reclaim our power and create a brighter, more fulfilling future for ourselves. 12. Always fulfill your duty. Consider the example of a firefighter. Their duty is to protect lives and property by extinguishing fires and responding to emergencies. Now imagine if they waited for praise or recognition before springing into action. Lives could be lost, and irreversible damage could occur. Instead, firefighters understand the importance of their role and fulfill their duties without hesitation, knowing that their actions have a profound impact on the safety and well-being of others. So, let me ask you, what are your duties in life? Whether it's as a parent, a friend, a colleague, or a citizen, each of us has responsibilities that contribute to the greater good. Are you fulfilling your obligations with dedication and integrity? Or are you waiting for external validation before taking action? The truth is, true fulfillment comes from within, from knowing that we've done our best to fulfill our duties and contribute positively to the world around us. As Epictetus reminds us, if we know what our task is and are aware of our responsibilities, then it's up to us to take action, regardless of whether we receive praise or recognition in return. So, let's embrace our duties with purpose and determination, knowing that our actions have the power to make a difference in the world. 13. Do not hate those who hate you, simply ignore them. You are much larger and completely superior to those who criticize, despise, and discriminate against you. Therefore, it's unnecessary to waste your precious time harboring hatred toward these individuals, as they do not even merit a fleeting thought in your mind. This concept is underpinned by the notion that we should not fear those who aim to harm us. Their efforts are but feeble attempts to disrupt our equilibrium. Such noise is nothing more than a lamentable effort to make us falter, and by ignoring it, we effectively render ourselves immune to its impact. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is central to understanding the Stoic approach to life's interactions. When faced with hostility or criticism, the Stoic chooses to remain unaffected, viewing these as external events that have no bearing on their internal state of being. In modern life, this teaching can be incredibly applicable. Whether it's a harsh word from a coworker or a cutting remark on social media, the practice of detachment and equanimity allows us to navigate such disturbances with grace. The Stoic doesn't allow the actions of others to dictate their happiness or peace. Instead, they remain steadfast in their values and response. To further enrich this narrative, consider the words of Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This quote beautifully encapsulates the essence of Stoicism and serves to reinforce the message that our power lies not in altering our external environment, but in controlling our internal responses. In conclusion, by embracing the Stoic practice of ignoring those who mean to harm us, we cultivate a life of tranquility and strength. It's about realizing the futility of resentment and the strength in serenity. This philosophy not only guides us through personal trials, but also empowers us to lead lives marked by dignity and composure. Thus, let us stride forward, embodying the resilience and wisdom that Stoicism imparts, making each step a testament to our unshakable spirit and undisturbed peace. 14. Bet on simplicity. Think about it. How often have you felt burdened by the very thing supposed to bring you pleasure and convenience? Perhaps it's the latest gadget you bought on a whim, now just another item gathering dust, or the luxury car whose monthly payments loom like a cloud over your financial well-being. This scenario is all too common in our modern lives, where the pursuit of more can often lead to feeling less fulfilled. Now let me share a story that illustrates this point beautifully. Sarah, a corporate lawyer, found herself overwhelmed by the trappings of her success. Despite her high salary, she was constantly stressed about her expensive lifestyle: luxury apartment, high-end car, designer clothes. One day, inspired by the Stoic philosophy of simplicity, she decided to make a change. She downsized her living situation, swapped her luxury car for a more practical model, and started investing more in experiences rather than things. The result? She found a profound sense of freedom and happiness that her previous lifestyle never provided. Why do you think Sarah's story resonates with so many of us? Is it possible that beneath our desires for material wealth, we're actually seeking something more fundamental: peace, freedom, and contentment? As we contemplate this, let's not forget the wise words of Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This perspective is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, encouraging us to redefine what true wealth means. It's not the accumulation of goods, but the cultivation of a contented mind. In wrapping up, let's consider what we can take away from this discussion. By betting on simplicity, we're not merely stripping away the excesses of modern life. We're also reclaiming our time, energy, and peace of mind. This principle teaches us that the richest person is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least. As you move forward, ponder on how simplifying your life might lead to richer, more meaningful experiences. What changes could you make today that might enhance your sense of personal freedom and fulfillment tomorrow? Thank you to everyone who joined us for this video. I hope it provided value and sparked your interest. Now, I'd like to hear from you. How do you relate to the topics we discussed today? Have you had similar experiences or insights? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're unsure what to comment, you might start by rating this video with a 1 if you enjoyed it. If there's something you feel we could improve, please let us know what and why in the comments so we can make our content even better for all of you. 15. When you allow the comments and attitudes of others to bother you. Consider this. Inside each of us lies a multitude of keys. Epicurus, another luminary of ancient philosophy, believed that some of these keys open doors to happiness, while others lead us directly to emotional ruin. The critical key, the one that hands over our emotional control to others, is unfortunately the easiest to turn. When someone's words make us angry, it's as if we're handing them this key, allowing them to lock us into a state of frustration and unhappiness. But does it have to be this way? The answer lies in constructing a robust mental barrier, a fortification that shields us from the impact of others' words and deeds. This doesn't mean isolating ourselves or ignoring feedback, but rather choosing wisely what we allow to affect us. The reality is, each person owns their words and has the choice of what they listen to and take to heart. By recognizing this, we empower ourselves to maintain control over our emotional state. Now I ask you, have you ever found yourself ruminating over a remark someone made about you? Did it steal your peace of mind? Perhaps more than it should have. If so, what might it look like to start building your mental barrier today? Could you perhaps begin by acknowledging that the true control over your reactions and feelings resides solely with you? Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words echo the Stoic belief in the supremacy of personal agency over external circumstances. By applying this wisdom, we not only regain control, but also cultivate a serene and resilient spirit that external chaos cannot easily disturb. In sum, embracing the Stoic principle of not letting others' comments and attitudes dictate our emotional well-being is akin to steering your own ship in stormy seas. It involves recognizing that the real power lies within us, the power to choose how we respond, the power to select which keys we turn, and ultimately the power to determine our path to happiness. As you move forward, Consider how you can apply this principle in your daily interactions. What steps will you take to ensure that you remain the master of your emotions and, consequently, your life? 16. Friendship is above wealth. True wealth, as this principle teaches, is found in the companions who stand by us, not just in times of joy and prosperity, but crucially, when our fortunes falter. These friends become our anchor, our steadfast support when the storms of life threaten our peace. It's essential, therefore, to invest in these relationships, to nurture them with the same dedication and commitment you would apply to any long-term investment. Think about the last time you faced a challenge or a setback. Who was there for you? Who listened without judgment, offered help without hesitation, and gave you the strength to persevere? These moments highlight the irreplaceable value of true friends and underscore why cultivating such relationships is not just beneficial, but vital. In the context of modern life, where we often chase career success and material gains, it's easy to overlook the importance of building and maintaining deep, meaningful connections. Yet the rewards of such efforts are immense, providing not only emotional support and happiness, but also a network of individuals who genuinely care about our well-being. So how do we cultivate these priceless relationships? It starts with being present. In a world where digital distractions are constant, offering your undivided attention is a rare and precious gift. Listen actively, support unconditionally, and be willing to share your time and resources. Each act of kindness and every moment spent together strengthens the bonds of friendship, weaving a safety net that both protects and comforts. As you reflect on this message, consider the famous words of Aristotle. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. This view of friendship as a deep, soulful connection highlights its role as a cornerstone of a fulfilling life. Therefore, let us prioritize these relationships, understanding that while fortunes can change, the wealth found in true friendships provides security and happiness that money cannot buy. In conclusion, remember that in the pursuit of a life well lived, the friendships you cultivate are the most valuable investments you can make. They are the truest form of wealth, enriching your life's journey and ensuring that no matter what challenges you face, you never walk alone. As we move forward, ask yourself, how can I be a better friend today? How can I strengthen the bonds that bring true wealth into my life? 17. Always extract the benefit from things. Consider this scenario. You arrive at work one day only to discover you're being laid off. It's easy, and perhaps natural, to fall into despair and to feel like the universe is conspiring against you. But what if, instead, you viewed this unexpected change as a gateway to new beginnings? What if this is the moment you decide to pursue that business idea that has been simmering in the back of your mind, the one you never had the time or courage to start because of the daily grind alongside colleagues who didn't share your passion or drive? This approach to life's hurdles isn't just about being optimistic. It's about being strategic and proactive. It's about understanding that within every adverse situation lies a kernel of potential benefit, waiting to be uncovered and utilized. It challenges us to ask ourselves, what can I gain from this? Rather than, why is this happening to me? Emily, a software developer, found herself ousted from a startup due to budget cuts. Devastated, she initially saw it as a career-ending setback. However, upon reflecting on her skills and passions, Emily decided to use her newfound free time to develop an app she had conceptualized years earlier, but shelved due to her demanding job. 6 months later, her app gained traction, leading her to a more fulfilling career path that aligned with her personal aspirations and skills. How often do we overlook the potential hidden in difficult times because we are too focused on the immediate pain or discomfort? How can we train ourselves to perceive and extract the hidden benefits of every situation, especially the most challenging ones? Epicurus's insight prompts us to maintain a perspective where intelligence and awareness convert potential despair into stepping stones for success. As we face life's inevitable difficulties, we have the choice to forge a path of self-improvement and resilience. It's not just about finding the silver lining, but about weaving a new tapestry that reflects our strength and adaptability. As we conclude, reflect on this message. Every challenge you encounter carries with it the seeds of an equivalent or greater benefit. It is up to you to nurture these seeds. This perspective is not merely about survival. It's about thriving. It's about making choices that transform obstacles into opportunities. How will you apply this principle the next time you face a seemingly insurmountable challenge? How will you ensure that your actions reflect not just resilience but also growth? Remember, the ability to extract benefit from adversity is not just a skill, but a duty that each of us has the power to fulfill. 18. Stop worrying about what is out of your control. You own your opinions, your efforts, and your desires, but there are elements in life like your reputation, the accumulation of material wealth, or the outcome of your endeavors that often lie outside your direct control. Reflecting on this, how many times have you found yourself agonizing over something you couldn't change? It's a common human experience, but as Epicurus wisely pointed out, we are tasked with cultivating those aspects of our lives that we can affect, while learning to relinquish control over what we cannot. This doesn't mean giving up on our goals or stopping our efforts towards achieving success. Rather, it means recognizing where our energies will be most effective and focusing there, rather than expending them on worries about uncontrollable outcomes. For instance, consider a professional athlete like a basketball player who practices tirelessly. While he can perfect his techniques and build his stamina, he cannot control the final score of a game. The lesson here? To invest in the process rather than the outcome. But how can we apply this Stoic mindset to our daily lives? It starts by asking ourselves, what aspects of this situation can I truly influence? Can I change the actions of others, the weather, the economy, or should I focus on my responses, my preparations, and my attitudes? By making this distinction, you empower yourself to invest your time and energy more wisely. This approach is not only about coping with life's challenges, but thriving despite them. Stoicism teaches us to embrace what we can change and to let go of what we cannot, thus freeing us from unnecessary stress and anxiety. This is particularly relevant in our modern era, where external factors such as social media can heavily influence one's reputation and self-esteem. Remember, while you can present yourself authentically and positively, how others perceive you may vary and is ultimately out of your hands. Marcus Aurelius, a stalwart of Stoic philosophy, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words encourage us to focus on our internal responses, which are always within our control, rather than external circumstances that we cannot change. As we conclude, think about how embracing this Stoic principle can transform your approach to challenges. Are there areas in your life where you might be holding on too tightly to outcomes you cannot control? How can shifting your focus to what you can influence improve your resilience and peace of mind? I hope this discussion sparks some reflection. If you found value in these ideas, share your thoughts with us, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. In conclusion, the message of Stoicism, embodied by Epictetus's timeless wisdom, reminds us to act as if nothing bothers us, to maintain inner peace and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Let's strive to embrace this powerful mindset, taking ownership of our reactions and shaping our destinies with courage and grace. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more content on Stoicism and personal development. Turn on notifications so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. Together, let's journey towards a more stoic and fulfilling life.